Hello, hello, hello. My name is Patricia. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the United States, and most specifically here in Alaska. I'm about, 45 miles or so north, I started to say south, of Anchorage in the town of Palmer. And today we are going to look at a stamp set that is in the current annual catalog, May 2021 to April 2022. So if it is beyond that date, it may or may not be available. But it is currently available in June of 2021. This is the set that we are going to look at, Daisy Garden. It is a cling stamp set. I'll show you what that means here in just a moment. It is a background stamp set, which means it's one big stamp that you can then use to, this is the stamp right here, to create a background. We'll look at that more here in just a minute. In the current catalog, it is on page, I believe it's 106. Yes, 106. This is one of those stamp sets that is kind of hidden in here. I did not even see this at first, and now I just absolutely love it. So it's here on page 106. There are a couple of others down below that. We may look at some of those later on, but for right now, we are going to do these. By the way, I want to point something out in here. If you look at the examples that have been done for us by Stampin' Up!, you can get some really good ideas. So don't ever neglect to do that with your anything out of the catalog. So let's look at this again. This is Daisy Garden. As I said, it's a cling stamp. A stamp. It's a single stamp, really. It's not really a stamp set. But we have it here in the Stamparatus. And the reason I love the Stamparatus is because I could make 100 of these cards just exactly like this. And because the stamp set is in the same place, or I keep saying set, the stamp is in the same place, I can do it over and over and over again, and I don't have to worry about it not being in the same place, or if I stamp badly, in other words, I don't get a good stamp impression, then I can just do it again. Now, I did say that this is a cling set, or red rubber, and you can see the red rubber on there, and because it is a red rubber stamp, I did take out this piece that comes under here to give it some lift. We don't need that lift when we've already got the lift on the stamp itself. So we'll do that here in just a few minutes. So these are the cards, at least these are the cards I have made so far. I intend to make more. I have just fallen in love with this stamp set, and we've already made this card, so we're going to put that one aside. If you want to check out this one, go look on Stampin' with Patricia, no spaces, on YouTube, and you'll be able to find that. Today, we are going to make this one. Can you tell I've been using some green ink? Today we are going to make this card. So let's put the rest of these aside for now. There we go. And this is the card that we are going to make. Very, very simple card. And what I need to make this card is right here. So I am going to have first my card base, Evening Evergreen, half of a sheet of 8.5 by 11, so it is 5.5 by 8.5. We're going to score it here in a few minutes at 4 1/4, or just fold it in half, basically. Then I need a Just Jade layer. Let me put this, whoops, let me put this here so you can see what we're doing. So I have this Just Jade layer, and that is 2¼ by 5½. It's going to go all the way from the top to the bottom of the card. Then I also have a basic white, which is going to go on top of that, again, all the way from the top, all the way to the bottom. So it's going to be 5½ and by 2. Okay. Then I need my sentiment strip, whatever size, depending on the strip or the sentiment that you're going to use. And then this is for the inside. Now, because this is such a dark color, even if I tried to write on it, say with a black pen, you're not going to see that very well. So you want to put a sentiment layer in there. And sometimes if you get a little ridge like I just saw on that paper, that cardstock, I can just press it out with my bone folder. Okay. All right. So let's start. So I'm going to go to my card base first. I'm going to fold it perfectly in half. I could have scored it on my paper trimmer and then just fold it and burnished it. Okay. Then I've got my Just Jade layer. I can go ahead and actually put that on there. Do I want to raise it up on? I don't think I will. I'm going to go ahead and put it down. So I am using my Tombow multi-purpose glue. Doesn't take much. And I'm going to go about 1/2 inch or so from that left hand side. Put that on there. And then with my polished pinks, I'm going to set that aside. I need to stamp my image. And so I am going to pull out my Stamparatus. I've already got the foam mat out. And I want to decide where I want my image. What did I do with my, here it is. On my piece. I have my stamp cleaned, and so what I'm going to do is just decide kind of where do I want it. I'm going to lay it down about right there. Okay. Then, because if I were to tip this over, it's going to fall out. So what I'm going to do is put it back in here where I want it. I want to get it as even as I can. I'll straighten it up once I have the general area. Then I'm going to tip my base over and then pick the whole thing up and turn it over. Now, when I lift off of that, I can see right where I need to put that. Now notice it's not really straight, so I'm going to straighten it up just a little bit. And then I'm going to pull it over one more time, and I have a little bit of card right there at the top. And so that's where I'm going to put my magnet. I'm going to hold this still, pull that off. It's really hard to pull off, so that my paper will stay in place. And I've also got a little bitty bit here on this corner, so I'm going to put my other magnet here. You do not want these magnets to touch. They could possibly break and pinch your fingers. Yeah, it's not nice. Okay, I need to put the glue back on, or the lid back on my glue. And I've got my ink pad here, but what I need is to put my my stamp package under there so that it gives this a nice firm surface for me to stamp on. Now, people have asked how to open this. Either pop it like an old compact. Got a little bit of green on there, so I'm going to try to avoid that. And I want to get this edge inked up. I need to get that happy birthday out of there. Okay, so I'm going to give it some good ink coverage. There we go. And pull it over. Give it a good press. Like that. Lift it up. See that I got, oh, good. Perfect. Didn't even have to do a second time. So I am going to close this up so I don't get any more ink on there. I actually will show you at some point how to get that ink off of there. So now I'm going to carefully move my magnets and pull this out. I do want to clean this. Let me see if I brought, yes I did. And so I'm going to take and just wipe this out. This is my chamois, and I'm going to give it a good clean. I have seen people use paper towels or wet wipes, and it's not that there's not a place for wet wipes. There is a place for wet wipes, but I don't like to use them on my stamps, because if I do, I happen to have a wet wipe right here. If I do, what ends up happening is I leave behind a lot of moisture like that. I also can leave behind little bits of the paper or fabric or whatever it is out of this, and I just don't like that. So I still went ahead and cleaned that. This is a dirty, oh yeah, you can see all those little bits of fabric or whatever these the wet wipes are made out of. So I cleaned it off because I don't want that to be on my next stamp. Okay, I'm gonna set that aside and that aside. All right, get this out of the way. Let's bring back our parts and pieces. Okay, this is for my inside, so I'm going to go ahead and put my inside back inside. And, or not back inside, I never put it in there, right? Okay. And, by the way, that inside piece, because this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so it's 4 by 5 1/4. Okay. And you know what I did here is I got this down just a little bit beyond that ledge, so I'm gonna trim that up just a little bit. There we go. Okay. You know, I always tell everybody in my workshops and classes and whatever, it does not have to be perfect. They are going to know, the recipient is going to know that this is a handmade card, and they're going to love that you cared enough to make them a handmade card. Okay, I could glue this down just like it is, but I think instead I'm going to put some dimensionals on this. And look at that, I've only got 3 whole dimensionals left, so I'll use those. And then we don't want to waste the rest of this, so I'm just going to cut myself some pieces, and then we'll put those in there like that, and there we go. Dimensionals done. I'm going to take those off. And then I'm going to put this on here. Okay, line it up the best you can. Then I want to stamp my sentiment on my sentiment strip. And I believe I did not cut this sentiment strip big enough. I was going to put thanks on here. Nope, it's not big enough. So I was just using a scrap, so it's not that big of a deal. But what I'm going to do is put, you know, you can always use happy birthday cards, so, and lots of different ones. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this other plate in my Stamparatus, and this is another one of those things that I absolutely love about the Stamparatus. I can pull that plate off. I don't have to move it. I don't have to do anything with it. And I'm going to put my Just Jade piece in here. I'm going to put those magnets on there. I'm going to line this up just about there, and then I'm going to pick it up on here. There we go. I am going to ink up my happy birthday, and I'm going to ink it up in Evening Evergreen on Just Jade. Okay, so give it some, ooh, that one's a really inky one. It's brand new. So I don't want to press too hard. I don't want to get some of those edge pieces, but I didn't get enough and it's crooked, so I'm going to turn it over. That drives me nuts. Okay, so we're going to turn it over and try this again. Of course, you always are going to mess it up when somebody's looking, right? Whoops, we didn't get that low enough. Or not necessarily looking, but you're sitting over my shoulder watching me, right? Okay. There we go. I think is that even? I think it's just a teeniest bit. I'm going to wipe that up so I don't get ink all over the place. There we go. And try this again. Okay. Something like that. And I think what I'm going to do is try this on a scrap piece first and make sure it's even. There we go. Okay, picked it up, put my scrap piece down. Make sure the scrap piece is even. And you know what I didn't do is put another, there we go. That makes it much easier. Okay, let's try that. Oh, much better. All right, let's try it again. Very, very simple card, and I made it hard because I didn't get it even. Okay, not good enough. Let's put some more ink on there. And that is why we love the Stamparatus, because I can ink it up even a third time if I need it. And I don't have to, that way, be happy with not enough ink on it. Okay, so I'm going to pull that out. I do want to clean that again. Normally what I would do is just stamp it off, so I'm going to put some paper on it rather than get all of that ink on my chamois, which has enough ink on it as it is. Okay, and then we'll clean that. Oh yeah, nice. Nice, nice. Okay, so then close this before we get ink all over, you know, like I've already done. Okay, so back to our card. And I am going to use my paper trimmer to straighten that up. Give me a nice straight edge. And I think I'll cut a little bit off that end as well. There we go, a little bit more on this end. There we go. I like it. All right. So there we go. Now, I'm going to put this like this, but you remember we put the dimensionals on this end, and if I put dimensionals all the way across this whole thing, then I'm going to end up with something sitting, now I'm exaggerating it, but something sitting like that, and I don't want that. So on this end, I'm just going to put my glue, and on this end, I'm going to put a dimensional, and abracadabra, I've got another piece of more dimensionals. Peel those off. You like my abracadabra, don't you? Okay. Put some glue on here. There we go. Okay. And somewhere right around in Where do we want to put it? Right there, I think. There we go. Make sure it's even. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Looking nice. Okay, now I want to add some, where did they go? Here we go. Add some really nice, these are awesome, these colored jewels in color for this year. Jewels, the ones that just came out. I can either use my scissors to pull them off of here, or I can use my take your pick tool. And there are smaller ones and a little bit bigger ones. I think I'm going to use the smaller ones this time, even though I think last time I used the bigger ones. Let's put one right there, covering that little bitty dot of pink, and a small one again. And let's put it over the, no, I don't want it over the eye. That looks kind of silly. Right there. Okay, and we'll put one, oh, let's do a big one this time. Put a big one. You kind of want to do odd numbers, so whether it's 3 or 5 or, you know, whatever. And you also want a bit of a triangle. So my triangle here was this one. My triangle here was this one. I don't really like that there. I think we're going to take that off. And come on, come off of there. It's going to leave behind its glue dot, I think. Come on. And put it right there. Yeah, there we go. Got a little dog hair or something on it. You guys can't even probably see that. Okay, that one's going to go. That one's driving me crazy. All right, let's pull another one off of here. There we go. And we'll put it right there. I like that. Okay, so now I have a happy birthday and a thanks. And the nice thing about almost all of these cards is they could be anything. They could be thanks, thinking of you, happy birthday, whatever you want. So thank you for watching. So happy to have you here again. And this is my website, blog. And if you want to go shop, if you want to go shopping right here, this is the host code for right now. If you are shopping at some point and your order is not over $149.99, then you want to use the host code. And that means you'll go into the drawing each month to be the hostess. If you don't see the host code, you don't want to go having to look through all the videos, then go to StampinWithPatriciablog.blogspot.com, and there will always be the current host code there. You can also find it on Facebook, and you'll be good to go. If you need to contact me, feel free. I am more than happy to help you and answer any questions that you might have. Please give a like to this video, assuming you liked it. If you have not already subscribed, then hit the subscribe button, the red one below this, and right next to that is a bell. If you'll click on that bell, you will get notifications of all of the videos I post whenever I post them. I'm trying to do that at least once, maybe twice a week. So feel free to check those out, and all of the information that you will need to buy the supplies for this will be in the description below. Thank you so much. Have a great day wherever you are. Thank you for visiting, and have a great evening.